we have this beautiful new banner that we just got, and so I said to Jim, shall we go up and hang it? And Jim goes, now you know it's 1:30 in the morning. No one's gonna be there. Thank you for proving me wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely got our night owls here. Yeah, so what? You know what? This is my first 1:30 in the morning panel. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cool you guys turned up. Because I was looking at the schedule, I'm just like, what? Because I was thinking it's not an 18 and plus panel, but yeah. So hey, guys, really thanks for showing up. Just for that, why don't we make this panel mostly about you guys? Does that sound good? Yeah. That's actually, even though we're not supposed to start in like 8 minutes. You showed up early and on time. I don't think we can fit any more goddamn people anyway. But that really is what this panel is. This panel is very much about you guys. This is a panel I like to do several times when I go to a convention. It's called Movies Everybody Disagrees With You On. And as many of you know, I play a character called the Nostalgia Critic who tries to make his opinion fact, and you disagree with him, you're wrong, and he goes crazy and angry. But that's a character. And really, the idea that movies have to be, good or bad, and factually they have to be good or bad, is pure nonsense. It's not like when you flip a coin, as I said, head or tails, that's fact. Was that good or bad? Like, what does that mean? That's just opinion. And movies really are art, and art is something that you can't really point at and say, well, mathematically, this is art. That's just not how it works. It's going to have a different connection to everybody. Someone can look at the Mona Lisa and get nothing. Somebody can look at it and be like, oh my God, look, what's she saying? What's in that smile? Just the mystery behind that. And movies are the same way. You can look at something, really that most of the world loves, like Citizen Kane. That'd be one of the greatest movies of all time. I know tons of people who are just like, man, was that boring snore fest? I can't get into it at all. I love it, by the way. But it's one of those things where what I've discovered when I don't try to shove my opinion into somebody else's opinion, instead, if they disagree with me on something, instead of saying, what's wrong with you? Here's all the reasons you're wrong. I say, why? Why do you think that? And I mean that in a genuine way. Not like what's wrong with you, but why do you actually enjoy it, or why do you disagree with me? What did you get out of it? And you find out about them. And I think art is a wonderful way to find out about people. And even if it's something where you didn't get the same experience, it's fun seeing a totally different point of view. And it's fun kind of learning something about a person and their outlook on life, and maybe it can help you with your outlook on life. So if you kind of just share more than force, you can really gain a lot more from it. And the way I usually start this panel off after I ramble so much is that I bring up a movie that most people disagree with me on. Either a movie I love and everybody else hates, or I hate and everybody else loves. And I'm blank. Why don't you guys go first? A movie everybody disagrees with.
Well, no, wait a minute. Are you saying that there's really someone out there who loves Garbage Pail Kids?
No. What's a movie that just everyone disagrees with you?
I feel like growing up, Predator 2. I thought it was better than the first one.
Really?
And and like all of my friends thought.
Is that the one that's like in the city?
Yeah, with Danny Glover and stuff.
Now, what did you like about it better than the first one?
I don't know. I thought I thought having it in an urban setting was cool. I thought the subplot with the gang war was kind of a neat idea. It was like kind of a brief jump into the future. I think it came out in like '93 maybe or something. It was like the future of 1995.
Like Demolition Man, 1986 looks amazing.
But no, yeah, I thought it had a cool subplot. To me, it was more interesting visually, and yeah, I don't know. And plus, you had the introduction of the whole idea, the concept of Alien versus Predator, when you saw the skull on the wall inside the ship. And then it had one of the coolest endings, where they all kind of come out, and you realize that they've been there for like centuries, on Planet
So, no, that's really cool. How about you, Nick?
There's one that I loved in the graphic. I thought, oh man, this is great. They're going to make a movie of it. Oh man, this cannot go wrong. This is going to be really a wonderful, wonderful movie. And they turned out League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. But there are some very pretty graphics in there, and there are some very nice special effects. So it's a guilty pleasure for me.
I think the one for me, there's always about like 5 or 6 that I usually go to, and I just sort of vary on them. I'll just pick this one. I actually kind of like X-Men 3. I'm at a-hole, and the reasons for it, see, here's the thing. With the exception of probably First Class and like Days of Future Past, I don't think technically any of the X-Men movies are like actually good. I don't think they're like, hey, like these movies really work and they hold up and they all come together and all the characters are really fleshed out. I don't really feel that, but I grew up with X-Men, so I love X-Men. And they're kind of films I like watching, even though I don't think they necessarily work. And I think when X-Men 3 came out, I felt like shit was happening. You know, there's actually like really legitimate kind of interesting questions being asked. If you could get rid of this, you know, quote-unquote disability, if it even is a disability, would you? Characters were dying. New characters I've always wanted to see were being introduced. Kelsey Grammer's piece was amazing. The action finally looked great. I thought the cinematography was phenomenal. I thought all this cool stuff was that we got, even though we didn't see the Firebird, we were finally seeing Phoenix doing kind of the cool Phoenix stuff that she does, and it all goes nowhere. That pissed me off. But everything else about it, you know, even though I acknowledge it's not good, I really, really enjoyed it. I always was kind of like, wait, how come we're letting the other X-Men movies get a pass? And this one's like all, you know, like, what was it, Days of Future Past, like they kill off half the cast of the previous movie, and everyone's like, well done, Bryan Singer, well done, not like Brett Ratner who killed off half the original cast. I'm like, wait a minute. So if someone doesn't like the movie, I totally get it. But it's one where honestly, it's sort of out of them, until Days of Future Past and First Class, I thought that was kind of like the most fun to watch. And the characters that got killed off, I never liked them anyway. You know, I want to see more of Kelsey Grammer's piece. I want to see more of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I did. And so it was a very selfish reason to like it. But it is hard for me to say it's actually a good movie. So, okay, so that's enough of us rambling. What we're going to do, we're going to open it up to you guys. I think this room's small enough where I can just call on you and you can just talk about it. You're going to bring up a movie everybody disagrees with you on, either you like and everybody else hates, or you hate and everybody else likes. And we're just going to talk about it for a little bit. We're going to, you know, figure out about what you like and kind of what we can learn from it. So, let's see. Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
I can ask a question for sure.
Does nostalgia factor into if a movie is acceptably good or not?
If it does for you, sure. See, there's no right or wrong about this, and that's what's so great about it. If you're, like a lot of people bring up to me, they're like, you know, movie I love, Batman and Robin, and you want to know why? I love it because I grew up with it as a kid, and I hold a special place in my heart. That's my first introduction to Batman. I'm like,
that credit card.
Yeah. You know, and I really mean that. That's like, if that was your introduction to it, I think that's phenomenal. So, and a lot of it, like, I love that the first Ninja Turtles movie. Love it. It's so stupid, but I love it. You know, when they meditate, his Blair comes in the fire. What the hell is that? But I absolutely adore it. I remember being so emotional when I was a kid, and now I watch it, it's really stupid. But I still have that connection. So absolutely, it does. So yeah. So is there a movie that you nostalgically really connect to?
I have a lot of really horrible ones from like my childhood that probably nobody's ever watched. One was called The Jungle King.
The Jungle King?
Yeah, it was kind of a Lion King concept with like two brothers, and like you could watch it like actually change color from frame to frame. How horrible it was. And there's a really horrible, stupid song that gets stuck in your head, but it was really cute. And
did you grow up with it too?
Yeah, I grew up with that, and it's horrible, but I love it.
But like you love it, and like how old were you when you watched it?
I don't know. It was one of those that my parents brought home, like out of nowhere, so probably, you know, probably like 5.
But there you go. I mean, but no, at age 5, you have those very nice nostalgic connections. You remember things were kind of, you know, usually a lot more easy, carefree, and you know, didn't have a job, you didn't have, you know, all this pressure and stuff. And sometimes a movie can be a nice reminder of that. It can just remind you of how great it was, just, you know, laying back and watching something that you didn't have to think about. So no, I think that makes a lot of sense, definitely. Jim, what do you think?
All right, well, one movie I loved and you did a review of, Small Soldiers. I personally, as a kid, thought it was, and I'm probably gonna get flack for this, thought it was better than Toy Story.
Love Toy Story.
But
I know.
two movies that I can't stand to this day, but all my friends love is, and I saw them kind of in college, so they're not exactly, but they're still old, is Donnie Darko.
Oh, that comes up a lot.
And Bubba Hotel.
Oh, really? Bubba Hotel?
I could not stand that.
Look here, you brought up 3 in there. We'll go with the ones that you, we'll do one that you dislike and one that you like. Let's talk about Bubba Hotel, because I guarantee you someone else is going to bring up Donnie Darko, because someone always brings that up. And I usually agree with them. I don't like the movie.
More like Donnie Darko.
I like the ideas behind it, but yeah, so why don't you like Bubba Hotel?
I mean, okay, when I rented it, it was through Blockbuster. When Blockbuster was still around.
Yeah.
So me and my dad were like, we gotta watch a funny movie, and the guy was like, dude, you gotta get Bubba Hotel. And I swear to God, the guy was drunk. He's like, it's so funny, you're gonna laugh so hard. And we're like,
I don't know if Bubba Hotel's a ha-ha funny movie.
I thought it was 14 at the time. So I was like 14 at the time.
I was like a prime age like that movie. Yeah.
And so my dad was like, okay, I guess it's a good suggestion, and it'd be good for a Friday night movie. Let's get it. So we get it. The only part that made me laugh was the Black JFK part. That's the only part that made me laugh.
You know it's half the movie.
I watched the whole movie through, all the way through with my dad, and we get to the credits, and we just turn out and we're like, that was bad. Let's go to the bed. This is just bad.
So it did make you laugh, even though it's kind of dull.
That one scene. That's the one scene I can repeat to everyone. Say, oh yeah, you know, it's a terrorist act. They painted me black or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but other than that, I couldn't stand.
You know, and everyone's sense of humor is going to be a little different, and that's always like the hard. The 2 things are always like the hardest to make are comedies and scary films, because everyone's just going to have such a specific thing. You know, some of the smartest people I know in the world love fart jokes. You know, I mean, like, just there's this guy I know, he's like a mathematician, he's just an absolute genius. If you just go, you'll be like, ah! You'll just go insane. So, I mean, you never know. I never think it's a reflection of like someone's intelligence or something like that. You know, it's just something where everyone's gonna have. Some of the biggest jerks I know love some of the smartest comedies. You know, so I mean, it's not reflective necessarily of you know, anyone's character or intelligence or anything like that. So yeah, and I thought that movie. Like, there's a couple scenes I laughed at, but I felt it was more like I like seeing these 2 kind of bond together. I like sort of this, it seemed almost more like a psychological study than like a ha-ha comedy. And that's because I don't remember laughing too hard at it either. I just thought the concept was so strange, and I like those people. So that's why it's interesting that he chose that, because I wouldn't think this is like, you know, hey, here's this great joke, here's this great joke, here's the, you know.
See, I love Bruce Campbell for a lot of his stuff. But this one, I was just disappointed. I was like, Bruce, what did you do?
No, I hear it. And then I'll also ask you about Small Soldiers. Why did you? I can't see someone, you know, like not liking that film. I can see someone enjoying it. But why do you like it better than Toy Story?
I would have to say the reason I like it is it did have the action in it, and the fact that for the time, that CGI for those little toy figures looks so realistic. Like it's like, oh my God, that's how it jumped off the shelf. That's cool. Yeah. And they actually had the combat knives, and that's where I first learned about one of my favorite sound effects is the Wilhelm scream.
Oh, yeah.
The part on the fight chain, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. I like that laugh. That's so great. And then just everything about it just was like, it's so cool that they made it for this time. That looks like real toys that had the joints and everything. And and then like skin would peel off when they started getting damaged and everything.
So see, like, kind of for like how real it looked, it's just like get more interested.
I felt like, it was like, oh, this is really happening. And they actually got like little robotic toys doing this, but then I found out, oh, well, that's CGI. Well, what's this?
Cool, so it's kind of like an introduction to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, no, that's really cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it for that reason, because I was like, this feels like toys are coming to life.
No, very cool. No, and that's your connection, man. You know, keep it. Definitely keep that connection. So cool. Dan, why don't you pick that? Pink, right there.
Oh, right here?
Yep.
Speaking of Donnie Darko, I really like Darko.
Is that the sequel?
That's the sequel,
I never saw
which
that.
I watched first
Oh, okay.
by accident, and I loved it. And when I finally saw Donnie Darko, I'm like, this makes so much sense now. This is amazing, and my mind flew once again.
So, you know, I haven't heard that much about the sequel. It's interesting.
It's about Donnie's sister and her realizing that time is strange, and that she can see what her brother saw and she's trying to fix it, but in trying to fix it, she becomes what Frank was. And so she's trying to help the person who is Donnie try to figure everything out. It's
Okay. Do a lot of people not like that movie?
like all of my friends.
Okay.
Of course, are like, and but one of my friends who loves Donnie Darko hates it with a passion. She's like, I'll never watch it ever. I just saw the trailer for it. It's interesting, and I like the way it all ties together.
You know, I'm watching, I guess I could kind of give this away. For the next Disney December, I'm doing the direct-to-DVD sequels. Surprisingly, it really sucked. But here's the thing that I'm really, with some of them, you can tell the ones where they're like, okay, just get it out there, who cares, and stuff. And ones where they're like, you know what, this is our assignment, we're gonna do our damnedest with this. And some of them are actually like, you can tell they're putting in that effort. You can tell they're really trying to make this like kind of smart and you know, and then they get these notes that say, no, give them a sidekick. It's like, damn it, okay, we're really trying to make this work. So there's, I haven't seen a good one yet, but at the same time, there are some where I'm like, man, I almost legitimately enjoyed this. I was actually really close to liking this. So yeah, I think there is something where it's like, because I'm sure that was like a forced sequel, you know, they're just like, oh, just, that movie became this big hit, go make a sequel, and some people are like, you know, we're really going to try on this, we're going to try and make something really good, and some people just look at the trailer like, it's a cash grab, you know, it's not worth it, but sometimes, even if it was originally meant to be a cash grab, it can be okay, you know, so, yeah, no, definitely still enjoy it. Let's see, I didn't pick somebody, let's do Fox Ears over there.
Okay, so, I did not see Mighty Python Search for the Holy Grail when it first came, or when it was like re-popular back in the 90s. I just recently watched it, and now I regret it.
You don't like it?
No.
Now what we're talking about.
I guess the buildup of all the years of people saying, "Oh, there's this really funny scene with the Black Knight" was one that did kind of make me chuckle. The whole thing with the ladies up in the tower, or the guy that he thought was a lady up in the tower, it was like, it just kind of baffled me. And then, you know, the Trojan Rabbit. I knew that one for years, and it was like, when I actually seen the scene, it was like, really?
Boy, you know, this is something I actually haven't talked about that much in this panel, surprisingly, is that you can have a movie, and I think everybody's had this happen before, that's been built up so much that when you finally see it, it can't live up to the hype. And like the Trojan Rabbit scene you were just talking about, it's like, and people have explained it for so long and talked about it for so long, when I saw it, I'm like, what was that? And sometimes the surprise of the scene, not knowing what's going to happen, and the spontaneous nature of it is what makes it funny. And I think, yeah, if somebody told me about that, and then I would watch it, I'd be, well, I know what's coming. Why is this especially funny? And I think there is something to that, where, especially for a comedy, where the hype can really ruin a product. And I've heard it a lot. I've heard a lot of people dislike Frozen because it had hyped up so much. A lot of people dislike Christmas Story because it was hyped so much. And there's something to, discovering it for yourself that sometimes can kind of, there's like this little magic to it. I discovered that movie just on Comedy Central late one night. I had no idea what Monty Python was.
The one thing,
I really got into it, yeah.
The one thing that above all just bugged me once I seen it was that I had attempted to watch it 3 different times over the last 10 years.
Yes.
Each time I rented it, I would get to certain points in the movie and it would either skip, it would cut out, or just die. And so there were certain scenes that I did not know how they ended.
Well, it's not
like the bridge scene.
Well, wait. You do. Now, the very end is supposed to be cut.
I'd say
that was intentional.
Yeah, there were obvious points in it that were like, the DVD was scratched to where it just wouldn't play.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
So the bridge scene, I did not know how the bridge scene with the questions ended for so long.
That would have made all the difference in the world.
Well, that's a shame because the whole movie makes sense and is hilarious after you know that. See, nobody laughs until they get to that bridge scene. All of a sudden, everything's hilarious. So,
part of the deal also is that it's an English movie, and sometimes we don't always get it. There are some people who love Mr. Bean, some people who hate Mr. Bean. It's an English type of humor on that, but you can never be sure with Monty Python as far as having skips and stuff.
Yeah.
I bought a recording, remember, for those of you who are too young, it's about this big around. And I put it on, and say, listen, it's Monty Python, and it starts out with John Cleese saying, this is all, and the side ran 15 minutes. I said, that's not an LP, how can it be 15 minutes long? Let me listen to it again. I put it in, and it started with Eric Idle singing.
Yep.
And I found out that they made this with a double groove, and depending on where you started at the very beginning, it was a half an hour side, but you either got 15 minutes of this routine or 15 minutes of that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was actually just reading about that.
And I said, that's clever. I like it.
But so there is definitely something to having a film be built up, and I definitely had that happen before. I think I had it happen with Goonies. Everyone's talking about how great that movie is, and I'm like, if I grew up with it, I'm sure I'd think the same thing, but I mean, it's not bad. I just couldn't get into it like everyone else did. So I think there really is something to, having that hype kind of there that really can work against it. There's something to that surprise and to that discovery. Like you're discovering it for the first time. Again, like we got the Christmas Story. I was in the Christmas Story before everyone else was in the Christmas Story, but it really is true. We just saw it, I think you either rented it or we saw it on TV or something, and we just loved it, and we loved that nobody knew about it. And then once it became really popular, suddenly it's like, I'm looking at this a little differently, but it's like I still love it, I think it's good, but man, just seeing it everywhere now does kind of suck out that special connection. So, no, there's definitely a lot of films like that. What do you think
The Attack on Titan movie, live action part 1. I don't like it, but a lot of people I know absolutely hate it. And that is just a con.
Wait, this is movies people disagree with you on, right? I hate it, but everybody hates it.
No. I just dislike it. I think it has a lot of good parts, and what everyone else seems to dislike it, they seem to dislike it for different reasons.
Okay, so that's interesting. So the reasons you dislike it are totally different from why everyone else dislikes it.
Yeah,
that's kind of neat.
It's interesting because when I talk to a lot of people, they always talk about how terrible of an adaptation it is. But I feel like that's very unfair for it because it seems to be doing its own thing.
No, I get it. I didn't know there was a live action. I got watched the show, honestly. The show's amazing. There's there's something to, kind of an example. You know, a lot of people saw Batman versus Superman and said, the worst piece of got really, really angry at it. And I get that, but there is also a part of me that's like, yeah, I do hate those scenes, but it's like, there's a lot of cool stuff too. I mean, Affleck as Batman was great, Wonder Woman was pretty cool, I love Iron. In it, you know, I like some of the ideas they were tackling, I like some of the serious moments, but there's kind of this thing where everybody has to go just one extreme or the other. And I think that's not always fair. You know, I haven't seen this yet, but I'm hearing about The Killing Joke, and everybody's telling me the first half hour is total shit, and then everything else is like good. You know, it's good, but everyone focuses so hard on that first half hour that they say it just destroys the rest of the film, and I feel like, like I said, I haven't seen it, but like nobody's talking about the part that actually sticks to the comic, you know, that's like really, really good. And that's kind of a shame. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I think because everything does have to be so extreme, and I think something can leave such a strong emotion, it is kind of a shame when like some stuff that legitimately should be called out as good, you know, isn't being called out. So, no, I definitely hear what you're talking about there. Dad, Doug, over there.
This is like kind of weird, but there's a movie that's like really weird to me that like I've never met someone outside my family who remotely likes it. Lady in the Water.
Oh, yeah. I like Lady in the Water.
You really enjoy it?
Yeah, I actually like legit enjoy it.
I gotta know, even the cereal scene?
Here's the thing, it's like, I think it has to do with like how I've been into it, because like when I saw it, like I mean I just turned 18 like this month, so when I saw it, it's like how many years ago it was, I was like maybe like a preteen, you know, like now I always like, I didn't look up like movie reviews, the most of the things I watched was like, you know, YouTube poop videos, you know.
I know why you like that movie.
So my dad, he sees more like movies than me, and I usually like them. And so he was like the guy who I would get my opinions on movies from. So he had gone and seen it, and he came back, and you know, he told me it's like, oh, it's like, you know, it's like a bedtime story. He kind of rattled it off for me. And so when I went to see it with him, you know, I wasn't like taking it like seriously. Also, something about like there are a lot of stupid things, and there are a lot of stupid things. But like I think it's the scrunch that does it for me, because there are very specific things about the scrunch that played into a lot of like my childhood years. Like my most